Hey everybody, this is Fran Fraschella, draft expert and basketball junkie. To everybody who's watching, let's get our friends at General Manager Games the subscribers they deserve. Just press that red subscriber button and immerse yourself in sports AI through GM Games content. And on Twitter, it's GM_games. Let's get after it. Let's go.
We had a big Bengals win today, so it's inspired me to get back down here, jump into the pro football game, and see how this next season goes. I had a blast bringing you all the last pro football stream that we did when I started this franchise over. So we're going to jump right back into that. I honestly haven't even looked at this since the last time that I streamed it. I haven't looked at it at all. So got to get my feet underneath me, so to speak, see exactly where we're at, bounce around, take a look at this roster, see what we need to do to get on into the next season. I think I stopped last time after the draft. Oh, look at that. Geno Atkins retired. All right, so that's kind of interesting. Let's take a look at this roster real quick, see if we don't have a breakdown on it, so we can try to figure out. I'm sure that we only have 47 out of 53 that we need. I'm sure that there's a handful of positions that are a little bit low. I'm not going to look through ratings and that sort of thing now. We still have training camps and all that to come, so all this information is going to change. We did get the very highly rated rookie running back. I think he was in the 3rd or 4th round, actually. 4th round, pick 19. So we got him late, and he's the highest ranked running back on this squad. So that's certainly good. I'm excited to see how this improved offensive line does. We did a lot with the offensive line in the offseason. All right, so we need punter and kicker. We need at least one defensive tackle, a couple of linebackers. Okay. So we need to get into this free agency period and actually be making some moves here. We need to check real quick what our contract situation looks like so that we know what we're working with. I know I made a couple of signings, the linemen, both offensive and defensive. So just taking a look at contracts, it looks like we only have about $23 million coming off of the books this year. A lot of that, our biggest contract is tied up with Trey Waynes. He's a fairly low-rated cornerback, so whatever, good riddance. Trey Hopkins, I might want to re-sign if the price is right. Same with Von Bell. Let's take a look through here. Billy Price, probably bigger on Suafilo. But again, that's going to depend on price because Billy Price is younger, and this guy's 30 years old. Drew Sample, yeah, I'd like to have him back. Jermaine Pratt is probably, I know 71 seems relatively low, but that's probably one of my better linebackers, to be quite honest. Okay, so Rodney Anderson is a fairly high overall rated guy, but unless we can get him extremely cheap, we're going to let him move on because we just drafted the really talented running back. And Isaiah Prince, I'm not worried about him. All right, so we have about $5 million in cap status to work with. So let's go. We could get like one player that was maybe $2 or $3 million, and the rest we just need to sign cheap. Defensive end here, we've got, I believe Christensen was a draft pick. He was in the 3rd round. All right, so we got Christensen and Khalid Kareem. Is he also? No, this is a legit player. Perez was the other draft pick, right? Yeah. Anybody? You guys know if you watched the last stream, we got Chris did a lot of work on getting the real player faces into the game. So if you see an animated face up here, these are guys that are game generated players. They're not real players. So yeah, we drafted this guy actually in round 6. So he was a bit of a steal as well. All right, so on the ends, we're at 74 and 71. Not a lot of depth, not any kind of standout talent. Here in the middle, Steven Davis. Now, obviously, he, I believe, was our first pick, yes. So Steven Davis is a bit of a standout talent there at defensive tackle, but we don't have anything to pair with him. So if we're going to spend serious money in free agency, I would like to do it on the defensive line. But what I'm probably going to do is just kind of lay back this year, and I'm going to draft that defensive line. This entire first season, we focused on getting the offensive line fixed. We signed Pat Elfine. We drafted a pretty good tackle, I believe. We actually signed Cam Robinson, and then Casper is the one that we drafted. So we put a lot of work into the offensive line in Season 1. Season 2, we're going to work on fixing that defensive front. And then after that, we're just going to kind of see how it plays out. At that point, it's really going to depend on how some of these guys develop, how we train them, all those sorts of things. And all of that's stuff I haven't really played this game enough to know how to get through all that. But let's go bid on some free agents. Let's see who's available first of all. Well, I got some good safeties. A couple of wideouts. Okay, looks like safety and wideout. Got one linebacker in there, one fullback, and everything else is safety and wideouts. Cool. Let's clear all and just take a look at kickers real quick. If I've got to pick either kicker or punter, I'd rather have a good kicker. They're the ones that are putting points on the board. Where is the... Oh, okay, so here's kicking distance, kicking accuracy. Woo! Prater's accurate, but man, he doesn't have much leg. Same for Harvey. Same for Ricker. Alright, so a couple of guys that are pretty accurate. I mean, the highest... I hate to just pick the highest overall rated one, but he's got the strongest leg on this list, and he's 85 for accuracy, which outside of the absolute trash power guys is the best. So Cody Sales, we're going to offer him $1 million. You're a starter. We'll offer you $1 million. And yeah, actually like 4 years. We'll submit that. Clear this out, move on to punter. Here, I don't really care about accuracy so much. We just want distance. Want a big booming leg. So that's right here. And we'll give him the low range of what he's asking for. Clear the punter out. Let's go. We needed a couple linebackers, and then I think we just need a defensive tackle or a defensive end, but I might end up signing one of each. But we do need a couple linebackers. So we got like $5 million available. Here's 1.7 of it already tied up. Now this is a spot where we could spend a little bit of money. Look at, all these guys are sort of middling outside of the top ranked linebacker here. All the rest of these guys are sort of in the middle of the 70s there as far as their ratings, but their ages are real nice. Like these are these are guys that just came off their rookie contracts and are onto their first actual contract. So, what I think that I'm going to do here to differentiate this a little bit, I want a fast defense. I think if guys can get to the ball, especially at the linebacker position, if you can get there, then you have the opportunity to make a play. If you can't get there fast enough, it doesn't matter what the rest of these skills are. So, with that in mind, we got a handful of these guys are up in the 80s in speed. Jack Kitschy has good speed and pretty good tackling. Not the best intelligence, though. I would prefer somebody with a little bit of intelligence. It doesn't matter how fast you are if you don't know where to run to. So again, I'm in the top-rated guy. Let's see. He's asking for a hefty contract. We can't afford that. Certainly not. As we move down... is there anybody up? He's got decent intelligence, no speed. Intelligence, no speed. Here's a pretty decent mix. 71 intelligence, 75 speed, 81 tackling. Let's go for Leonard Floyd. What's he at? Oh, he's asking for actually quite a bit of money. Are all of these guys asking for that kind of? Most of them are asking for quite a bit less. This guy must know his worth. He must know we're on to him. All right, so if we back off of him, whew. What about Jared Davis? Yeah. All right, so 25 years old. This can hopefully develop a little bit. He's got some speed. He can tackle. Let's make a decent offer right here. And let's offer him about, shoot, I don't know, 1.9? Yeah, I actually think he would be a starter. Let's submit that offer. Now let's go grab tackle and an end. Oh, actually, we needed 2 linebackers, didn't we? We needed 2 linebackers. So we got that offer out. What other offer would we like to make? Leonard Floyd. He's the one that's asking for too much money. Let's throw an offer out here. He's a lower end on speed, but he's smart and he can tackle. So if we get 2, 4, 5, this gets us pretty close to maxing out, but let's tell him he can be a rotational player for 3 years. Submit that. Now we can go out and take a look at those defensive linemen. So clear that out. To the defensive ends. Here I definitely am going to be favoring speed. I don't know if there's a pass rush rating, so I'm just going to look for speed and maybe after that agility. But I mean, it's probably coming right in there. There we go. This is a nice discount. I mean, he doesn't have crazy speed, but it's not bad. He's got a decent overall rating. He's got some strength. What about this guy? He's got like no strength though. 75, 73. All right, here we go. He's asking for between, more than 1.1 million, but less than $1 million. I think that's a weird bit of a glitch there. What's up, Breeze? Glad to have you, buddy. Getting some pro football in today. So the college basketball will definitely be coming later on in the week, but today we play some football. The Bengals won, so this is what we do. Let's throw $1 million at him. He's 28, so yeah, 4 years. Let's go 4. I'd like to lock some of these guys up, especially if I can get them on the cheap. Like a lot of, maybe these are all lowball offers. Maybe none of these guys are going to sign, but we're throwing some offers out there. We're learning free agency. We'll see how this goes. Let's complete this day and see what kind of responses we get. So these are round 5 signings, round 4. Did no one sign in round 6? Let's check our mail, see what this is all about. All right, so Jared Davis signed somewhere else for almost 2.3. Oh, Kenny Clark. Did I even offer him? That's Kelsey. That's Morton. So these were... I think Jared Davis, though, I just offered. I think he is probably the only one that turned us down. And that's a shame because, I would have liked to have him. Yeah, so we still got our 4 offers out there. And Jared Davis turned us down. So let's clear this out. And let's see if there's another linebacker we could throw into the mix here. Let's just grab some Reuben Foster. Definitely not the fastest guy out there. Let's offer Darius Leonard. And we'll offer him like 1.4 for 3 years. And we'll let the rest of these offers just kind of stand and see how it goes. Breeze, have you played any of the pro football game, buddy? Round 5, round 5. Why is this not updating? Alright, anyway, we got a couple of emails so we can see what's going on over there. I feel like it should be updating right there because we're not getting any of the... like, obviously, these guys are signing contracts, just not with us. So, the punter signed somewhere else, as did TJ Watt, for $2.5 million. So, yeah, they gave him quite a bit more money than we wanted to give him. Let's go try for another punter and another linebacker. It's a shame, buddy. But, you know, you got to hold on. We're going to have the college basketball stuff coming around here real soon. Hopefully you'll jump into that with us. You're playing pro basketball, is that right? Clear it out. We'll start off with the punter. Let's just do that. This guy can boot the ball. He'll be a starter. And $600,000 a year. How about that? I'd like to get at least kicker and punter. I'd like to get locked up. I don't know if the offer just sits there, if they're waiting to hear something better. But I would really like to wrap these up. So let's go ahead and up the money a little bit here. It's just $200,000. I mean, we're working in like $4 million. This is about $4 million worth of offers. We've got an end, a linebacker. Let's take a look here at defensive tackles because I believe, well, actually first I know I need another linebacker. Let's do what I know we need first. How about that? I actually really like Dakota Allen. It's quite a bit of money. Oh, he's not smart at all. No, let's move on down to Foysaid Alukun. I'm sure I'm butchering that. It looks like these guys are signing for a little bit more than I'm offering, so let's up it a little bit. See how it does. Pro Basketball 21 hype. That's right, Breeze. That's where it's at. Chris been putting in as much work as he did on the picture pack on this. I think he's done even more, testing and making suggestions and all kinds of things on pro basketball. So it'll be really interesting to see how that comes out. And I'm really interested because, pro basketball isn't really my thing. I'm more about college basketball. So I think it'll be really interesting to see how much of the stuff that's new in Pro Basketball 21 actually flows over into College Basketball 21. I'm excited for that. Let's complete this free agent day. Yeah, this transaction screen is definitely not updating at all. But we can check our inbox and see what we've either got or lost. We've lost again. That linebacker signed 3 years for 1.7, so we only offered 1.4. So, I mean, we're close, but it looks like if you want to jump into this free agent market, you gotta overpay a touch, I think. Oh, we also... Wait. Did we sign the kicker and punter, or did we lose them? Because we didn't get an email about that. Well, let's take a look at our roster. All right, so we got the kicker, we got the punter. As far as linebackers, I don't believe any of these were the ones we were going after. All right, so none of these defensive ends and none of the defensive tackles. So I guess someone else... I'm getting confused. Wait, it was a linebacker we were trying to go after, right? I honestly can't remember. Let's just go back to free agency. I know we still need at least one linebacker. We still need at least one defensive lineman. So let's just stick on that. I don't know. If I hit this, does it do anything? Will this update? No. Oh, we did sign Darius Leonard. Okay. So if I click on my team, it will show me these more recent rounds. I don't know why this screen isn't showing it. Maybe I actually have to scroll down. Let's check. Nope. That's going. Oh, look. So it goes 1 through 5. And then the more recent rounds are actually down here. So I'm sure that's just one of those, little bumps in the road that pop up. And as people find it and point it out, I'm sure that'll probably get squared away. But so we signed one linebacker that we needed to. We got our punter and kicker. We need one more linebacker. And then we're going to need to... I need to verify which defensive lineman I actually need. So let me just jump over here and see what that is so I don't have to keep on guessing. It's a defensive tackle that we need to get. So we need a defensive tackle, we need a linebacker, and otherwise this roster is at least valid. So linebacker and defensive tackle. And we've got $1.7 million to do it. So we could grab well, we'll see. We'll see. So we've still got an offer out on a defensive end, but we're going to actually delete that offer because we need to save that money for linebackers and defensive tackles. I think, I don't know, we must be playing like a 4-3 or something that needs more defensive tackles. I'm not certain, but actually on defensive tackle, I start to look much more at strength. I want somebody that can get in there and be big and just be a run stopper at defensive tackle. Let's see, Daquan Jones. Woo, he wants some money, boy. I'm not paying $5 million for a 73 overall defensive tackle. Are you crazy? Pico wants some money, too. You guys want to get paid over here. Al Woods. As I was saying, it seems like we got to overpay a little bit. So he's asking for like 1.4. Let's give him 1.5. But let's keep it down to 2 years. He's 34 years old. So it's going to be a lot of money in the first year and almost free the second year. And then, like I said, this is just a 1-year stopgap. We're bringing in players just to fill this roster out. I would like for them to also be a little bit useful. But we are going to work on upgrading this defensive front seven in next year's free agency when we have some serious money to spend, as well as next year's draft. So now we just need to go out and grab ourselves another linebacker, preferably just looking for a decent meat of intelligence, tackling, and speed. Right here. Whew, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for a 73 overall. Yikes. Can we get up that high? I don't know if we have the money. You know what? Let's just offer this dude like $2 million. See what happens. Let's make it balanced out. He's relatively young, so we can give him 4 years, I suppose. Let's submit that and see what happens. If we got both of them, I think we would be over our salary cap, so I don't think that we can do it. What's up, Lord Clamwell? Glad to have you again, buddy. I'm trying to... There was like certain days and certain times where I'm not going to stream them because nobody's going to watch it. But I'm sort of figuring out, some people are in different countries and time zones and all that, so it helps. But also people can catch it on YouTube if it's a bad time. So I'm just, when I'm available and ready, I'm just jumping on and going live. I hate that it's not scheduled or anything, but I can't stick to a schedule. My kids are crazy. You never know when they're going to be calm enough to actually get down here, or when they're going to be going crazy and pull me away. So when I can make it, I just make it, and I go from there. Sales, I feel like we signed somebody. We got Zach Cunningham. All right, so there was our round 9 signing. We got Cunningham. So now we need the defensive tackle. So let's take one more look here at our roster and our money and see what we've got available. Yeah, that's why I don't know. I don't know what would be the best time for Europe. I actually kind of thought about going on at like 1 or 2 today, but like the Bengals were in the middle of a game, so I figured anybody that wanted to watch the Bengals could watch the real Bengals at that point, and they didn't need to see me. So avoided that. All we need to do, though, is grab a defensive tackle, and we've got a valid roster. So let's see. I don't know if this offer will like go away. Yeah, it just went away. So let's clear it all out. We just want to see defensive tackles. And honestly, let's just go down here and grab somebody like this. He's young, he's strong, he's terrible, and we can offer him, I don't know what exactly the minimum is, but let's offer him the minimum if we can. I don't know what that'll be. Let's just sim here and see what happens. We could always go through this entire thing, and then once you get out of this free agency period, you can sign a player at any point, and it'll just sign them for the minimum. You can always do that to fill out your roster. We got him, though. $500,000 for 1 year. So we've got a valid roster, and now we're on to the training camp. So that was perfect timing, actually. That was the last week of free agency. So training camp results, we don't need to see the entire league. Although, woo, Kevin Huber, the ex-Cincinnati punter, fell off a cliff from a skill standpoint. So did A.J. Green. Oh, it's a lot of losses there. You can see some of the biggest gains around the league. Let's take a look at our team, though. Look at Joe Burrow, the biggest improvement on the team. Man, that's what you like to see. Your young quarterback out there doing work, training himself up. We did have here, all of our losses were on the offensive line. Nothing too significant, but obviously these guys are a little bit past their peak, so they're headed on a more of a downward trajectory at this point. But man, the improvement out of Joe Burrow, and then like you can just see here what happens when you got a relatively young team. Even Sean Williams at 30 still getting a little better. But man, Joe Burrow, that's definitely, if you had to pick one guy on this team to get better, that's the one you would want it to be. So nailed it. Let's take a look here at our mail, see what we got. Little training camp report. Oh, there it is, Joe Burrow, far exceeding everyone's expectations in training. Man, you got to love it. Let's delete these emails, though. And now we can take a quick look here through the roster. So, Burrow's moved up to 80 overall. Pretty good for a second-year guy. Not a whole lot of change here in the running backs. I'm just looking for anything that really jumps out at me. Obviously, we signed this guard, and that's a huge improvement. We could probably deal with a little bit of youth here because our only young guard is pretty poorly rated. Now, the rookie and the signing are going to hold down the tackles for us. And we actually do have a little bit of depth there. Jonah Williams not too far back. Then at center, Hopkins and Reed. Both of them, approaching 30, so they'll start to tail off soon, I'm sure. At the tight end, we're fairly young and mediocre, I guess is the way to say it. The wideouts, Tyler Boyd, far and away the highest rated wideout. Let's see here. Where is he getting it with? I mean, it's a little bit of speed, it's a little bit of hands, it's a little bit of everything from Tyler Boyd, but definitely the number one receiver there in Boyd. Stanley Morgan, Auden Tate, Damian Willis, also looking pretty good. T. Higgins trailing off a little bit, which is a shame, because in real life, this dude is a flat-out baller. Oh, Burrow's not... No. Breeze. Keep Joe Burrow and Andy Dalton. They don't belong in the same sentence. Joe Burrow's on it. Dalton was just always so average. Dalton didn't lose a lot of games for you, but he also never won games for you. Joe Burrow, even in his first year, is winning games for the Bengals. He played a heck of a game today. He's played several good games. Once they can straighten that offensive line out in front of him a little bit and get a little bit of youth on that defense, Burrow's got all of the pieces to make something happen there. So we've got one decent corner. He's fairly young, so that's nice. And everything else is kind of Linebacker-wise, I mean, that's the guy I just signed, right? No, Darius Leonard and Logan Wilson. Anyway, linebacker's sort of a mess. Defensive tackle, we've really only got the guy that we brought in. And then Wren will be all right. Defensive end, obviously, we drafted Christensen. We've got Kareem. We drafted Perez. So we don't have a lot of depth there. We might need another. We might need another signing there at defensive end. But we'll do that once the season starts, and then try to find a position that we're heavy at. Free safety-wise, Jesse Bates, Brandon Wilson, nothing special. Von Bell, Henderson, and Williams at the strong safety. Williams is a pretty good player. And then the kicker and punter situation. So that's what the team's looking like as of right now. Let's jump over real quick before we get too far down the road and see if free agency guide, draft guide, season preview. Let's check this out. I think this should be for this season. Let me actually save this real quick, just to be sure. I'm not sure if this is giving me last year's information or this year's information. Top offensive player, Roberts, the draftee. So it's saying no key additions or subtractions. Offense is ranked pretty low. Defense has a decent ranking, actually. And all of our grades are either average or bad. All right. That's fine. Let's go play the games. You know, I thought we had an absolutely dreadful roster last year. It actually worked out. So, you know, here's the thing. I'm not totally interested in the preseason. Can we quick sim? Oh, we don't want to quick sim 30 seasons. No, thank you. We're just going to sim right through this preseason. I don't care about preseason games. I don't think they tell you much. So we're going to sim through all of them. We can take one quick look at how we did. All right, so we lost to the Panthers. Tore the Colts a new one. Just barely fell at New England. And then lost at home to the Cowboys. Andy Dalton comes back in for the Cowboys and throws for 180 yards and a touchdown, sort of rubbing our nose in it. All right, so the preseason, you know, we took care of Indy, but everything else was a bit shaky. So we'll see how this actually goes. See who actually played well. Again, it's preseason. I don't know that you can really trust this stuff. We need to get through all of this. So, let's see. Oh, scratch cornea. That's not good. Allergies, turf toe. What kind of injury? Guys, you're supposed to be football players. You think a hockey player would miss a game for allergies? What is this? Get out of here. The lights go out in Bingo Land. All right, guys. So, let's see how this regular season actually plays out. Kind of like last time, until I find something that works better, we're just going to sim it, and then we'll check it out, see how it went. So we go on the road to San Francisco, and you know, we got a field goal there when they scored a touchdown. That really ended up being the difference. They were slight favorites. They won by about what they were favored for. So we go in and check out the box score. We can see Joe Burrow back below 50%. So we were hoping that with the improved offensive line that wouldn't be the case, but he's back below 50%. He's getting sacked 5 times again. He at least threw for 250 and a touchdown. Joe Mixon kind of got it going on the ground. Morgan actually led the way from a wide receiver standpoint. So not a great start, but you know, last year we overperformed in my opinion. So this year, if we come back to earth a little, I mean, we made the playoffs last year with a god awful team. So that kind of stuff really shouldn't be happening. So if we come back to earth a little bit this year, you know, it wouldn't be the most surprising thing. But here we go against Seattle. We're actually slight favorites here at home. So let's see how this one goes. Lost by a field goal. We tried to come back late and just could not manage. So, pretty similar story for Burrow and Mixon. Auden Tate led the way there for receivers. kind of looking through the stats, seeing if anything really jumps out. And the rushing yards, we can't lose by that much. Turnovers were pretty. That's a pretty even game, you know. We just didn't win. I don't know what to say. Let's check out the emails real quick. Against the 49ers, Burrow right back onto this list. Jordan Franks right back onto this list. Against the Seahawks, Burrow, Franks, Auden Tate, and Mixon actually made it. Nothing on the defense. So you can see we went out and tried to improve the offense, and maybe that improved offensive line is allowing some of this to happen. But defensively, we're pretty bad. And now, so Renell Wren, one of our defensive tackles, is out probably for a long time, 8 to 12 weeks with the MCL. Sean Williams has the hernia. So Sean Williams, I think, is one of our higher-rated defensive players. To be honest, we're just going to kind of try to get through this year so that we can start bringing some talent into that defense. But right now, they do not have it. So that's all right. I understand where we're at. We've got... you know, I am happy, actually, with the way that I drafted and those guys coming in and their ratings. What we actually need to do is jump over and check out, not our strategy, I'm sorry. I'm going to take a look at our depth and make sure that we have this set correctly, which we don't. So let's have, playbook name, view offense. I'm looking at depth. Oh, set by coach. So we're going to let our head coach set all of our depth. So see, I don't even think Jeffrey Roberts was in the depth chart, so that could also be a reason for us underperforming a little bit there in the first couple of weeks, because we did not have this set correctly. But problem solved. Let's keep moving forward and see if we get it turned around a little bit. Look at that. Burrow, 450 yards through 2 games. That's not too shabby. Let's keep it going here. We got the Broncos coming into Cincinnati. Oh, we took care of the Broncos. Get out of here, Denver. Go home. Beat them down. My word. That is quite the game. So Burrow, 9 of 19, still below 50%. But man, 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. So not a great completion percentage, but still a good game, I guess. Mixon, oh no, that's Roberts rather. 9 attempts, 60 yards. Mixon, 7 attempts, only 4 yards, so that's pretty pathetic. Tyler Boyd had himself a game, as did Auden Tate. Tyler Boyd, 2 touchdowns. Auden Tate with a big 68-yarder. Actually, Tate had a good game. Boyd got targeted 10 times and only caught 4 of them, so I don't know about all that. But anyway, the offense got it done against the Denver Broncos. Let's see what we got. If you have time, you can fine-tune. Yeah, I could definitely fine-tune the packages and playbooks and all that good stuff. I haven't dove deep enough into this game yet to know exactly how that changes things. And I don't really want to do too much of it until I've got sort of my players in my team, so I know what their strengths and weaknesses are. I find it's hard for me, like it would take a lot of time, I think, to jump in. Like in a basketball game, when you got 10 or 15 players, you can kind of figure out your team. In a football game with 53 players on an active roster, I find it's easier to learn the team as you go. Like as I bring players in, I've got a better feel for them. So like, it's hard to just go out and analyze it and learn 53 new players. But if I learn them, 7 at a time as I bring them in, then maybe I can get to that eventually. But at the same time, I don't have a great feel for, how much change in the strategy, what it really does and doesn't affect yet. So I don't want to get out there and screw it up if it's actually working. So right now, what I'm trying to do is build a team that's good enough to win without that, and then we'll get to that eventually. Look at Joe Burrow, 9 key plays. Goodness gracious, he had himself a heck of a ball game. Even Bruce Greenfield, the rookie quarterback, came in. Man, Tyler Boyd, Auden Tate, we knew that. Trayvon Henderson had himself a good game. Jordan Franks, Jeffrey Roberts. It's all good stuff. Joe Burrow actually had an injury, so I don't think he had that. He must have gotten hurt in that game, but he'll be back to 100% now. So, What is all this allergies, broken nose nonsense? Come on, guys, play some football. What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? The Cardinals and the Bengals. Oh, 2 weeks in a row, we just dunked on people. We were small favorites in both games, and we threw down on the Cardinals. All right, so Burrow, less yardage, still got his 2 touchdowns in. We actually had 2 backup quarterbacks in the game. Greenfield came in just to throw a pick. Had a couple of sacks, but Burrow's still with a very strong rating. Roberts, 12 attempts, 18 yards. He was pathetic. Mixon was actually really good. Well, Mixon had 1 really good run. So 1 run for 61 and 8 runs for 17. So he was pretty pathetic overall as well, outside of the 1. Frank's huge game, touchdown, 100 yards, 7 targets, 5 catches. Good to see out of him. We can take a look at the scoring history here. A couple of field goals to start off. C.J. Uzama with the 25-yard pass from Burrow. Mixon with the big run. Frank's with the big catch. Oh, the only Cardinal score was on an interception return. So, interesting game. I can sim through the rest of this week, and then we need to jump over and see our injury report because I'm quite concerned that at least one of our quarterbacks got hurt. Bruce Greenfield with a migraine. So Burrow may have just gotten pulled because we were way up, but then Greenfield did legitimately get hurt. All right, so that's week 4. What are we, 2-2? I think we're 2-2 right now. Oh, the Patriots crushed us. Look, huge first quarter, then a huge fourth quarter to add on to it. Mohamed Sanu, oh man. Cam Newton tore us up. Burrow, 10 for 26. I don't know what we got to do to get that up. He's getting sacked a lot. He's pretty consistently got a good rating. He's not throwing interceptions. It's just a lot of incompletions. Too many incompletions. But at the same time, we're not controlling the ball enough. Look at this. 26 passing attempts. 13 on the ground. So we ran 39 plays. While they ran 38, 48, 60. So we're just not controlling the ball. Oh, no. Lord Clammo, all those things will definitely affect the game. If you get in there with the playbooks and all that and start messing around, it'll definitely, you can see it. I've done it before. You can see, if you start picking targets and picking things, I can see it in the way that the stats track, certainly. So it'll definitely do things. It's not just for show. It's just, I don't know exactly what they do, so I'm not getting into it just yet. That's the only thing. So they're definitely out there. They're meaningful. Greenfield's back. Ooh. Oh, man, the rookie broke his hip. He's probable. That's my man. Now, see, he's not missing games for allergies. He's got a fractured hip. He's fallen and he can't get up, but he's still probable. Love it. All right, let's keep on moving here. Because I do want to hopefully get through the draft again. Got the Browns. Oh, they put a beating on us. Another pretty poor game from Burrow. He didn't even get sacked that much. Terrible rating. I mean, that's just pathetic completion percentages. He's a decently rated quarterback. I don't know how it's that bad. Joe Mixon, awful. God. So we made improvements to the offensive line, but I don't know if they were enough. Seems like we still need a lot of help. Texans and Bengals. Oh, Bengals did some work there. Moves us back to 3-4, so we're hovering around 500. That's all right. Burrow a little bit better there. 3 touchdowns, 224. The completion percentage. I'd still like to get that up over 60, maybe over 65, but we won the game on the ground, quite obviously. Between Roberts and Mixon there, they've got almost 200 yards on the ground in 24 attempts. So quite a good game from a running perspective. Hard-nosed bloke, yeah. I mean, if you're playing with a broke hip, better man than I. Back to Cleveland, they came in and beat us at our place. Let's see if we can return the favor, and we do. Oh, nice little 15-point win in Cleveland. So Burrow apparently got hurt, and then look at Greenfield. Let's see what's wrong with Burrow. He's got a hernia. He's out 4 to 6 weeks, so that hurts. But look at Bruce Greenfield, the rookie, the round 7 draft pick. Guys, do we have another Tom Brady situation on our hands? The rookie Bruce Greenfield comes in, goes 14 of 16, 240 yards and 4 touchdowns. Wow, what a game. And then on the ground, look at Roberts, another rookie. Tyler Boyd, 3 touchdowns and 4 catches. Interesting. Let's see if this holds up. This kind of got me excited. Chris is going to have to redo the graphic if Greenfield's legit. It doesn't seem legit. It seems like a one-off situation, but if it's legit, excuse me. So wait, that's against the Texans. Injury report. A lot of people recovered from injury that week. Look at Greenfield. Wow. Burrow still made the list. 6 play. This is what I don't understand. I think Burrow went 1 for 6, and it says he made 2 key plays. Like, what did he do? Avoid a sack? I don't know. It's interesting. Roberts, Travion Henderson again. All right, let's keep moving. All right, halfway through the season. Now we got Baltimore coming into town. Lamar Jackson. Oh, he took care of things. 284 with 4 touchdowns. Greenfield kept the completion percentage high. No touchdowns, 1 pick, 7 sacks. So couldn't keep him off his back. The running game got us nothing, and we lose to Baltimore. Not really shocking, to be honest. I mean, this isn't a Super Bowl team yet, a Super Bowl caliber team yet. So, quite honestly, I would just assume we lose and get better draft picks as long as the players develop. Oh, nice win there at LA, 35-13. And Greenfield had himself another game. So he went 18 of 30, over 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks, just the 1 sack. So the offensive line finally came around. They even blocked a little bit for the running game. Ooh, I don't know who is that. 3 years experience. I don't know who that is. But maybe their starting quarterback's hurt. Because I'm pretty sure Jared Goff's their starting quarterback. I guess they could have lost him, but I don't know. Headed into Baltimore, so Cleveland got us at home, then we went there and won. Baltimore got us at home. Let's see if we can do the same thing to them. No. Baltimore took care of us. Once again, Lamar Jackson. The yardage wasn't there, but the touchdowns certainly were. Greenfield there kind of comes back to earth, and he's throwing picks. So that's what Burrow doesn't do, is throw those picks. That completion percentage, I've seen it quite a few times, but we don't want to see no touchdowns and 2 interceptions. That's ugly. Nothing on the ground. Couldn't get it going there. Hopefully our offensive line develops or something. I don't even know what to say about him at this point. Too many sacks. No running game to speak of. We can sim through this. This is our bye week. And now we head into Pittsburgh. Yikes. Burrow came back and in a big way. Had almost 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. So the Bruce Greenfield, Tom Brady references lasted about 1.5 weeks. Joe Burrow's back to doing work. Although Greenfield played in this game. I wonder what that's all about. I hope Burrow isn't hurt again. But he had what is this? How do you have 10 rushing attempts for -8 yards? Our running game's so bad. But we got the win over Pittsburgh, and that actually takes us back to 6-6. So we've still actually got a shot at making the playoffs yet again. Let's see what we can do against the Colts. This is the only team we actually beat in the preseason. First of all, let me go over here and check out injury reports. I would like to know, what are they mad about losing? We're 500. All right, the injury report looks good. So Burrow's not on the injury report, which is the only thing I was really, really scared about. Let's see how this game against the Colts goes. Oh, I didn't actually mean to sim the entire week, but it works the same either way. Oh, we took care of the Colts. Get out of here. Look, Burrow, 16-22 for 451 yards. Goodness gracious. That's an average of 20 yards a pass. Maybe the Tom Brady comparisons didn't last long for Greenfield, but I'm definitely keeping the guy around. Our running game is still putrid. I don't know what the deal is there. Roberts is ranked good. Mixon's ranked good. It's got to be an offensive line thing. Still definitely need some help there on the offensive line. But a good win there against the Colts gets us to 7-6. So now we got the Steelers again. We took care of them once, and we took care of them twice. Get out of here, Pittsburgh. This division is ours. We're 8-6 now. Oh, yeah. See how this game went. Another good game from Burrow. Yardage is a little light, but the completion percentage is there. The touchdowns are there. Still nothing out of the running game. But Joe Burrow has got this Bengals team on his back right now, and he's making things happen. The offensive line keeping him upright enough for him to get the job done there. And Cincinnati moves on to 8-6. So we are very much... Let's check out the standings real quick. We got a couple of games left. Let's check out these standings. Here in the AFC North, Baltimore is at 10-4, and we're actually tied with Pittsburgh. So we're going to have another game against Pittsburgh, and that one's going to be huge. If we beat them twice, we could still drop a game somewhere else and win a tiebreaker over them. Looking through the rest of the AFC, it looks like there's probably a wild card team coming out of the AFC East, either the Dolphins or Jets, whoever ends up losing that race. And then, other than that, we're, a half game ahead of Tennessee? And we win a tiebreaker against Pittsburgh as it stands. So, the return game at Pittsburgh is going to be massive. See what happens here against Tennessee. Show me that score. Give me something good. Yeah, 9-6, baby! 9-6 here in our second year with Cincinnati. Burrow right at 50%. But again, good yardage. Got the touchdown. Avoided any kind of silly mistakes. Roberts finally got it going a little bit on the ground. And we get a very big win there at Tennessee. So, that should get us to the last game of the year. We don't even... Did I play Pittsburgh earlier in the year and miss it? Take another look at the standings here in Week 17. See if we've got this wrapped up or if we're still fighting for our playoff lives. Still fighting for our lives. So the Jets are tied with us. Tennessee, if we lose, Tennessee could be tied with us. I think we would hold the tiebreaker over them. We just beat them, right? But Pittsburgh could definitely jump us. So Pittsburgh and the Jets, I believe. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and the New York Jets. 3 teams fighting for 2 playoff spots. Let's see what happens here. Headed down to Jacksonville. Even though it's Week 17 here in the NFL, still 55 in beautiful Jacksonville, Florida. Did Joe Burrow take advantage of the weather? Did he sling the ball around? No. Yes. Joe Burrow had an excellent game. What did the rest of this team do? Good God. So Burrow, he completed 80% of his passes for 400 yards and 2 touchdowns. The running game, that's, 18 plays. And we get 30 yards. That's just completely worthless. Take a look here. We didn't complete We didn't convert a single third down the entire game. 1 of 2 on fourth downs. Yardage was pretty even. Passing yardage was pretty even. Rushing, they doubled us up, but it's the 3 turnovers there. 3 fumbles. 3 fumbles. Who is that? Roberts every time? Is there like a ball security rating here? So awful effort. Thanks a lot, Jeffrey. Fumbles. No. Rushing stats. He hasn't fumbled all year. Ooh, could have been Burrow, though. Five fumbles lost on the year. Oh, no, 4 this year. 5 last year, 4 this year. All right, I don't know when they were, but... Oh, did y'all see that? Look at Burrow on the year. 3,300 passing yards, almost 30 passing touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. So, for the passes he doesn't complete, you know, that sucks. But, man, he's not giving the ball to the other team. So that's huge. You know, unless, of course, it was the fumbles here today. But that didn't work out for us. So now it's a total toss-up. I don't know how the rest of these games went. We were fighting with Pittsburgh, who also lost, so I think we're in. Because I think we win the tiebreaker over them. But the Jets losing would also be very helpful. And they do to Baltimore. So we should be in the playoffs, guys. Whoa. Dislocated shoulder, fractured nose. Luckily, they're both probable. Stephen Davis, doubtful. Oh, and then Khalid Kareem, PCL. He's gone for the year. All right, let's check out these playoffs. I think that we're in. Yeah, and we get the Denver Broncos at Denver. So we beat them early in the year at home. Now let's see if we can go out there and win a playoff game. Something the Bengals haven't done since like 1992. Show me that score. Yeah, baby. Joe Burrow and the Bengals take down Denver 55-10. 14-21. There's that yardage. There's those touchdowns. They kept them upright most of the game. Not a lot of yardage here on the ground, but, you know, a couple touchdowns. Joe Burrow actually ran one in, so Burrow's doing pretty much everything for us. Jordan Franks having himself a year. Auden Tate having himself a year. Looking good. Looking good, and the Bengals are moving on. So let's sim through that wild card round and see what we got. The Dolphins. All right. Miami and Cincinnati. Since we're actually favored in this round, in the divisional round, we are favored. There's only 8 teams left, and your Cincinnati Bengals are one of them. Let's sim this, and let's see that score, baby. Yeah! The Cincinnati Bengals, 27-24. Big fourth quarter comeback out of Joe Burrow and the boys. Oh, no. It wasn't even Joe Burrow, it was Bruce Greenfield. Burrow went out early. Greenfield in relief. Gives up another pick, but throws 2 touchdowns, has a pretty decent completion rating, and Bruce Greenfield leads the Bengals past the Miami Dolphins with, again, absolutely no help on the ground. But the Bengals are moving on to play the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC Championship game. So let's take a real quick look at the emails here. Find out what happened to our boy Joe Burrow. He's probable with a bruised jaw. We might have to... Oh. It might be a thing where he was just out for that game. Or maybe... I'm not certain. Let's just click on the dude. It ought to show us if he's hurt or not. No, he's healthy again. So we will have Joe Burrow at full strength as we go on to take on the Baltimore Ravens. The bad news for us is the Ravens have been pretty much dominant against us this entire year, and I don't really expect anything to change in the AFC Championship game. But as you can see here in the AFC, it's all about that AFC North. The Bengals and the Ravens headed to the AFC Championship game. We're going to sim it. Give me that score. Let's send the Bengals to the Super Bowl. No, Lamar Jackson had other ideas. The Ravens take us down. Yeah, later, Lord Clam. I'll try to get Auburn out sometime this week. But I appreciate you stopping by, buddy. So we're out of the playoffs, guys. 39-32. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens moving on to the Super Bowl. I think they were in the Super Bowl last year. I think they won the Super Bowl last year, actually. Burrow had himself an okay game. Still couldn't get any help whatsoever on the ground. So it appears that regardless of what we did there with the offensive line, we've still got issues because the running game was a problem all year, and I know we've got decent running backs. We signed Pat Elflin at guard, and he was solid, but the rest of that line, I don't think anybody's above a 75 overall rating. So let's take a quick look here at those starting linemen, if we can. Actually, I would love to take a look through this, but what I'd like to do, actually, is kind of go through some of the statistics from the season and see how we did on the year, like running, passing, see where we're strong, where we're weak. But I can also hear World War III happening upstairs, so I think we're going to have to call an audible here and call this a stream. Make sure, I think I already saved it once, but we're going to call it a stream right there and cut it off, and we'll come back next time so that we can get a little bit more in depth in like a postseason review of how we did, and then get you into that draft and continue to rebuild this squad. But guys, year two, we made it into the playoffs. We made the AFC Championship game, and we're still very much building this team. So the good news here is Joe Burrow is legit. This is a franchise quarterback. We're set there. The bad news is we're still building around him. We've got a lot of work to do. So I appreciate you all stopping by. I was so happy to bring this to you. Hopefully we'll be back in a week or so and get you another episode of this. I'll get out some Auburn basketball later this week. Excuse me. But that was exciting. I'm trying to wrap up the stream and can't hold that back. Anyway, we're cutting it off there.